Are they?
Yeah. I didn't want to say it on the
Well,
podcast,
I'll
but
cut
he's
that
not.
out. Well, that's a. Okay, so my name is Tony Stapleton, and this is the Bursting with Life podcast. Thanks for watching. Now, I've been a holistic health and fitness coach for 15 years, and I've seen lots of things that are really beneficial for people's health and well-being. But sometimes people don't know about these things, and especially during the last year when people have been suffering from all sorts of things like mental health and lack of money and everything. And there hasn't been a lot of information out there. So I thought, well, I know lots of interesting people who are doing amazing things in the world of health and wellness. So why not speak to them? So today, I'm really excited to speak to Rebecca Lazarou, who was introduced to me by a really good friend of mine. And I got in touch with her when last year we had a really good chat because she's on the same page as me. Now, Rebecca is a medicinal plant scientist and holistic therapist. She's got a master's degree in medicinal natural products and phytochemistry. Is that phyto? Is that how you say it? And she's also works at one of my favorite places in the world, which is Kew Gardens. My nan, we planted a tree for her in 1977, and it's now about 40 years old, and we used to go and have picnics under it. So I really love it in Kew Gardens, and it's really, when I lived in West London, it was a sanctuary for me. Now, if anyone doesn't know about Kew Gardens, they need to go check it out. And I'm sure Rachel, I'm sure Rebecca would agree with me. So Rebecca works as a researcher at Kew Gardens. How cool is she? She's also known on Instagram as Laz the Plant Scientist, and she's currently, I believe, developing an amazing range of botanical products. So, without further ado, thanks a lot for coming on Bursting with Life. How are you doing, Rebecca?
Hi, yeah, thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm very happy to be here. Always happy to chat health and plants.
So, tell me a little bit about how you became so passionate about plant medicine and all this. And tell me a little bit maybe about this little dream you had.
Yeah, so it's a very unscientific start to my career considering I'm a scientist. But basically, when I was 16, it was just before I was picking my A levels, I had this dream. And the dream was that I was at a school trip going to my auntie's house, which happened to be a tree house. It's not a tree house, but that's what it was in my dream. And there was this witch woman there. And they say that healers have hot hands. But my hands are always ice cold. And she went round and she touched my hands and she was like, "Your hands are so cold." And I was like, "Yeah, so they were always cold." And she was like, "You must speak to Prince Xavier. You must speak to Prince Xavier." I was like, "Who's that?" And she was like, "Go." So I walked to the top of the driveway and I woke up. Usually you forget your dreams, don't you? But it got to the next evening and it was just pounding in my head, Prince Xavier, Prince Xavier. So I Googled it. I remember sat there on my mum's old PC and it came up with this guy who was in India. He'd set up camps for thousands of people, which merged natural medicines and biotechnology and science. It was basically like healing hubs, which merged the two. And I just knew, head to toe, flooded with light, this is what you're going to do with the rest of your life. And so luckily it was just before I was picking my A levels, so I chose ones that would help me to do human biology at uni, because I always wanted to bridge the gap between science and plant medicines. And funnily enough, a couple of weeks later I had another dream about a name, and it came up with all this propaganda against herbal medicines and plant medicine, saying they say they can cure cancer, it's all lies, these stupid hippies, blah 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 blah. So I sort of took that as a sign, like, which was completely right, you're going into this industry, but there is another side to it. And it is good to be skeptical about the industry as well, because we can talk about quality control later, but it's not all lovely plants and happy healing. There's a lot of con artists in the industry as well. So I did my degree in biomedicine, human biology. I qualified in massage as well whilst I was there, and I did a hypnotherapy course after. Learned all about the subconscious, because we need more than just the body to heal. We need to heal the mind as well. And then I did my master's in medicinal natural products and phytochemistry, where I learned all sorts, how to put medicinal plants in the lab, extract the active compounds, cosmeceuticals, indigenous medicines, quality control, formulations, how plants work in the body. So many different things. It was one of the best, most inspiring years of my life. And now, well, after that, I've done all sorts. I teach, I write, I teach science at herbalism schools. I edit for a scientific journal, so it's my job to read the latest herbal medicine research, go in and edit it and critique it. And I research medicinal plants at Kew Gardens. And now I'm setting up my platform, which is going to be an educational platform to teach people about holistic health, how these plants work in the body. And I'm also going to be selling botanical formulations and the top quality stuff to people. And I'm also writing a book on, not a book, it's an ebook, a download, on quality control, because the industry proper is a state, and it's only going to change if the public learn about it. So I'm doing that as well. That's soon to be published, so that people can arm themselves with knowledge to heal themselves.
So you're not really up to much, yeah? You're kind of sitting around in your butt most of the time. Now, I really believe, right, we're zooming out now, without getting cosmic, whatever you want to call it. But I believe we're at the end of one age, we're at the beginning of another one. And this is kind of like the awkward, painful birth. And maybe, I mean, it's your choice, but when you have children or grandchildren, I think they'll be growing up in a lot better world, a more positive world, where we are working in harmony with the planet and using its resources rather than the opposite. And I really believe now we're seeing the pioneers, the people who are going to be leaders in business, doing business like 2.0, ethically and morally, yeah? As opposed to, we all know what big pharma's like, it's all money. And I believe, there's lots of people, but I believe you're one of them. And you have passion. I feel that. I kind of like really respect you for that, because I got someone to look up to, and it's like we're all reminders that what we're doing is important. Because sometimes you can go and speak to someone exactly from a more kind of pharmaceutical, and they can make you feel like what you're doing has no importance.
Yeah, same. You're not alone there. I find a lot of the space on both sides very, very frustrating. It's so polarized. Either you work for pharmaceuticals and you've got people on one side saying they're all tokens of Babylon trying to kill everyone and blah, 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 blah. And then you've got the pharmaceutical people saying anything to do with nature is airy, fairy and stupid. But then there's the space in the middle where the actual truth lies. Yeah. And at the end of the day, both sides mostly are trying to help each other. You get arseholes, excuse me, I'm not sure.
No, please swear. This is.
I'm sure you've seen I'm sure you've seen the narcissists in the wellness world. It's rife, and then you also get people on the other side who aren't really willing to help as well. And yeah, it does get super, super polarizing. But what I find most interesting about it is that the way that we view plant medicines and natural healing in England, it's a cultural thing. It's not factual. It's just the way our culture is set up, and we take it as fact. Like our foundations and our baselines are the only truth, the highest truth out there, and everything else sort of fits around it. And I'm not just talking about, in other countries where people use indigenous medicines and local plants and stuff like that, which is a huge part of humanity. Connecting to nature is just something intrinsic in us. We've been severed over here, and for me, that's why I think so many people are so, anxious and depressed. One of the reasons. But you also look at countries like Switzerland and Germany, and I've spoken about this on podcasts before, but these are, super economically developed countries that don't need to be picking leaves from trees in order to be getting medicines, yet they are utilized and put on a pedestal with other medicines as well, and it's just over here where we've got this sort of snobbery about it, to be honest with you.
And ignorance a little bit.
100%.
Well,
you're seen as smart for dismissing it, when
Yeah.
really it's like, the way I see it is health and well-being. It's a tree. There's different branches to the tree. You've got nutrition, you've got your mental health, meditation, pharmaceuticals, herbs, all these different things. Whereas over here we have the tree, and we have one branch, and it's pharmaceuticals. And it's only now that people are starting to look outside and think, okay, actually, how can I empower myself? I think we outsource so much of our power,
Yeah.
going to someone in a coat who can say, okay, this chemical's wrong, give me that,
Yeah.
you know. And also, herbs can't cure everything.
No, of course not.
Pharmaceuticals can't cure everything. Meditation can't cure everything. So my thing is, I'm the same as you. I think life can be amazing. It can be beautiful. The things we have the opportunity to experience are just breathtaking and exceptional. But if we don't learn to heal, we can't do that. So what a big part of life is just picking up tools that empowers you, so you can heal yourself, so you can get in touch with joy more often, you know.
Exactly. Cultivate joy.
Yeah, for sure. And I've always heard that, you know, that I never really understood that saying, knowledge is power. But, you know, doing not only my masters and learning how to heal myself, which I'm so grateful that I got put on this path, because now I can heal myself. Like, not only can I heal myself to be balanced, I can heal myself to be happy, you know, and be
Yeah.
really grateful for life. Don't get me wrong, I feel like shit sometimes, but, you know, I can do that. But it's also with setting up this business, you know, studying so much. What does branding mean? Social media, PR, SEO, newsletters, all these things. Like, I've really grown to understand what knowledge can do for your life. When you've got knowledge, you build your life. When you don't have knowledge, you get pushed through. And it's really important that people learn.
Yeah. Knowledge, if implemented.
Yeah. But it makes me think as well, it's like, do you often think about this? There's always so much to heal. You heal one thing, another thing comes up, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, when do you actually start living and doing the
Yeah.
things? And you know what I mean? I know
It's
that's
a
slightly
little bit
off
like
topic,
hearing the
but
astrology report, you know, or saying today is a new moon. It's a time for letting go and da, da, da. And you think, well, I've been reading this for 10 years. When's it going to end? And I went into
yeah,
like therapy, had some shamanic healing about 8 years ago. And I thought, I'll go around there. She's going to wave a wand. And then it was like, it's a little bit like you live in a really big, dirty mansion and decided, well, I'm going to go and clean that. So you start cleaning, and then you start realizing, looking around, and you're going,
yeah,
you know. But anyway, as you're saying, the kind of big pharma is, you've got something wrong with you, this will fix it. Whereas the holistic side is prevention beats cure, no?
yeah. And also aid the body in healing itself. But I must, like, I absolutely love and live by the holistic way of living. But the way I formulate as well is it's quite unique, because it's quite pharmaceutical based, in the sense of, I will look at the pathophysiology, how the body's gone wrong, exactly what receptors are off, the organs and stuff like that. It's very targeted. And I'll use the pharmaceutical literature, look at where those drugs target, and then I'll mine the scientific literature to find plants that stimulate those same targets. So I sort of go half on the herbalism holistic route. So for example, you want to detox, you support the liver, but you also support the gallbladder, which provides the bile for the liver. But then I'll also zoom in and look at the receptor, because the way I see it, they've spent billions on this research, and they've got some of it right, you know. So, well, most of it right. So I'm gonna use that too. But yeah, I think that, like, I really appreciate that in plant medicines, because the main difference is, with pharmaceuticals, it's one active compound. With plants, it's hundreds, if not thousands, of active compounds, and our bodies are primed to absorb and ingest plants. We can take them in better. And so there will be active compounds where, on its own, that molecule is not going to do anything, but put it in with the rest of the plant molecules, and for some reason, which we don't know, it works. Or you'll get a molecule which, you put it in the body on its own and it's toxic, but put it with the rest of the plant molecules, and for some reason our body reacts to it in a way that makes it not toxic, but you do get a medicinal
That's
effect.
amazing, isn't it?
It is just amazing. It just shows the sort of biophilia we
So
have.
the opposite of that, I mean, let me run this by you. So you're saying that these compounds, bioactive compounds, working together in synergy. And say, for example, someone's got a vitamin C tablet that's been isolated without these other things working. So you might not get the beneficial result if you just take one of those things. It's not with all these other things that make it kind of work. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah. So I can't, like, my knowledge on specific vitamin C is not, like, I can't
Yeah, I mean, I just
say.
meant that as an
But, like,
example.
just
But
as a hypothetical, yeah. So
when
a
people
massive
isolate
problem.
things and they go, well, that's the bit taken out. But then other people say, no, hang on, but it was working as a unit with all these other things.
Yeah. So bioavailability is definitely a massive problem with a lot of food supplements. It's like, they're like, yeah, we've got 1,000 milligrams of this amazing active compound, but your body can't absorb it, so it doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so that, can you just explain to the good folks in interweb land, so what does bioavailability mean?
Bioavailability means how available something is in your body. So, for example, you can take a medicinal chaga or reishi, chew it up, swallow it, and it goes through your body. There's so much medicine locked in that mushroom, but your body can't break that mushroom down properly because it's got chitin, which is what the cell walls are made up of, and it just passes through your body, and the medicine goes untouched. It doesn't go into your cells. So what needs to happen needs to go through an extraction process where they put it in water and they put it in alcohol to take out those active compounds so your body can actually use it, which is why, you know, you go into the shop and you'll see a medicinal, I say that, you know, with, you know, quotations, medicinal, a medicinal mushroom powder, but it's literally just ground up mushroom, and, you know, it hasn't been prepared in any sort of way. So if someone takes it on its own, it's not going to do anything. And that can be the same for different vitamins and minerals and things like that as well. And another thing with the food supplements, it's like they greenwash it and say, oh, it's natural, it's holistic, and blah 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 blah. So for example, resveratrol is a molecule found in red grapes, which is really good for your heart, cardiovascular system, capillaries. But, you know, because our philosophy in Western science is find the one thing, proliferate it, make loads of it. You buy this supplement, there's 16 kilograms worth of grapes in that pill. Like, do you need that much? Is that actually healthy? Probably not, you know. And it's interesting because it's this philosophy of find the one active compound, proliferate it, make loads of it. It permeates not just our medicine, but also the way we look at food. So we've got a crop which is going to make us a load of money, like avocados. What do? Okay, we strip all of the land, plant that one thing with no regard onto the holistic biodiversity of you know, the land there. And how long does that land last? Not long. The nutrients in the soils run out, you know. So it's like it's capitalism, isn't it? It's like you run past the end of the finish line, like just that goal at the end, targeted, linear, straightforward, without stepping back and looking at the whole, how things work together. And that's what I want to empower people with knowledge about, is like how all the different things work together. Your mind works with your body works with your emotions, your food works with your emotions. Do you know what I mean? Like all these
everything's connected. Yeah, exactly.
100%. No. What we have in our culture is it's a fast food culture for instant gratification. We want everything now. And holistic healing and natural healing it takes time. It takes consistency, it takes energy, it takes effort. It's not, we've had this culture where you've got a headache, you take a pill and it's gone. That's amazing. It's so easy, so quick. Herbal medicines, nutrition, exercise, yeah, you can feel results instantly, but to actually bring yourself back into balance, you need to cultivate it consistently and water that garden, you know. And what we have in our culture, what I would hope to do is facilitate a shift in culture where it's not deal with that problem when it's there, wait till you're sick, you know. I want people to pick up tools to sort of and integrate them into their life beforehand so it doesn't have to get that bad. And also it's like I feel sorry for doctors in some way because, okay, walking has been shown so many times to be so good for your blood pressure. Yeah, it will reduce it more than a lot of pharmaceutical pills. But if you're an NHS doctor, someone's been waiting 2 hours for an appointment, they go in, they've got 10 minutes there, and the doctor turns around and says you need to go for a walk, which is the healthiest thing to do. How many people are going to take that advice and not be like, oh, piss off, I want a pill? Do you know what I mean? And we've got this culture now of just, you know.
I could say, look, hibiscus tea, drink 5 cups a day for 5 days a week, and then just monitor your blood pressure. Just see what happens. I've actually got a client and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I won't say who it is, but he's a kind of trader. He's very high, lots of money, big deals, lots of pressure. And he's under 30, and he's on beta blockers for his blood pressure. Okay,
Christ, man.
now listen. All these things, and his blood pressure was like kind of 170 over. It was high. Okay, so I said, okay, have you got a regime in place about reducing your blood pressure? Is there what's the story? Because a lot of people, they're going on them, and then how long are you on this for? Well, how long are you going to live for? Right? He started exercising with me, and we're doing really gentle stress, getting rid of tension, because you've got a lot of stress in the goddamn body. So we're taking this car and we're getting the chassis, and we're not just painting it and putting new seats in, you're doing it right. So we're getting rid of tension in his body, and he's doing his blood pressure. And I'm not saying anything, but after 2 weeks, his blood pressure is normal.
There you go.
It's 123 over 82. He stopped taking he spoke to his doctor, and he's half the blood pressure, and he's drinking 5 cups of hibiscus tea a day, and he's chilling out.
And
so you could say it's madness, you know. But okay, this is a hard question, but what advice would you give someone who wants to dip their toes into understanding about plant medicine?
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to say, and it links to your story before as well. Okay, taking that blood pressure will lower the blood pressure. It's not going to make his life feel good. You want a life that makes you feel good at the end of the day. If he's walking around with all that stress in that body, if his blood pressure's fine, he's still not going to be well, mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
And it's, doing these things, okay, plant medicines, have a lot less side effects most of the time. But if you're going to continue living that lifestyle and just swap the pharmaceutical for a plant, you're going to start like your liver will get less damage, blah, 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 blah. But is your life still going to look good? You've got to zoom out and think, how do you want your life to feel? And this is what I mean about a holistic life. It's like someone who's that high stress, and me too, like I've got stress, like so much stress doing this business and so many jobs and blah, blah, blah. We all do. We need stress management schemes in place, and you need to be consistent with it. Wake up in the morning, do something for yourself before you do it for the day, swap things one by one cleanly,
Take it easy on yourself.
Yeah, totally. And sort of assess the parts of your life, your pain points, and see what you can do about it. So if it is stress levels, take your plants like your ashwagandha, like your passion flower, like your rhodiola rosea, those sorts of things. If you've got really bad sleep problems, don't just rely on your sleeping pills or even your valerian. You need to get something into place that helps you actually switch off so that you're not just hacking your body into sleeping, but so that mentally, emotionally, physically, your body is able to rest, and it takes time to be in tune. And what I mean by that is take that half hour before you get into bed without the phone, stop writing your to-do lists, give yourself a little foot massage, whatever it is. You need that sleepy podcast, whatever it is you need to connect with yourself, to bring yourself back into balance, do that. And it's just it takes ultimately like a healing journey, and these skills that you've got to cultivate in life at the end of the day. It's about being in tune with yourself and
awareness, isn't it? Being aware of all these things.
Yeah, totally. But it's about being able to sense like what do I actually need now? And herbs are a part of the picture, absolutely, but it's deeper than that. And
it's not a one-stop cure, but it's part of the self-care healing thing. It's like
firstly, what I'd say is be really, really careful of the quality control. Just because something's really expensive, it doesn't mean it's good for you. It doesn't even mean that the plant.
Very good point.
It's like sometimes they don't even have the plant in. Majority of stuff you see in high street shops, online, or whatever, are such bad quality. They treat it with things get contaminated with either cheaper plants or sometimes even pharmaceuticals or a sawdust. All sorts of stuff gets put in these pills. They swap the plants in for yeah, other plants are parts of the plant that don't do anything. So for example, with ashwagandha, it's the root that works, but they'll put leaves in because it's cheap. Do you know what I mean? Or the species get mixed up, so you've got something that is a completely different species, but they've got similar names, and there's so many problems with it. So you
So
need
would
to make
you,
sure that you're
sorry,
so
interrupt you. I'm not a professional podcaster, but what it
it's
is,
for
I'm
it's
so, no, but I don't want to butt in on what you're saying.
no
Yeah.
no no. Do
So
you know,
if you took me around Planet Organic, other thing, and could you point out a lot of stuff, which is a load of old maca then? Not maca as in MAC, but.
Oh, maca's got really bad quality control. Really bad quality control, because maca, like, a key thing is, if a plant gets popular really quickly, plants don't grow any quicker because the market wants them. They
Yeah.
just pick other things and, sprinkle it in and
And
put
the
it in.
regulation, I suppose, is not regulated, is it?
Well, no, it's not regulated. Well, it is. There's some levels of regulation, but no one's looking, and the government don't give a shit, so they're not going to start looking at plant medicines anytime soon. um, yeah, I know that's like quite a fiery and forthright opinion there, but I
No,
don't
that's what
think
it's about.
that.
This is about opinions. This is about
Yeah,
opinions, and it's good to have a wide range of opinions because people might be able to do this thing called critical thinking, which means you
yeah,
hear lots of opinions and you choose your wisdom and knowledge to discern. But that's not really
yeah,
allowed these days. So you've got this. So basically, you understand about the healing power and of medicinal plants, and you're saying, look, what's out there? There's a right range of quality, some of it unregulated and not good. So this range of stuff that you're going to bring out, obviously what you're bringing to it, it's like, but my blend that I make, if you're doing sport and a general wellness thing, I believe it's one of the best products on the planet. Why? Because I made it for myself. And then when you see how you make it yourself and you see the shortcuts you take and you don't take them, and then you see what other people are doing and you realize, wow, beyond that really beautiful model and that amazing advert, they're selling you the vibe, aren't they? And the actual
yeah,
ingredients is a load
totally.
of old crap. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
where
totally.
are you with your development? You don't have to give it a secret. You don't have to give away too much. And what is it you're going to launch? Can you just give me like an overall thing of what I can expect to see
Yeah,
from,
totally.
and what's it going to be called?
Okay, so
Oh, I know, if it's
yeah,
secret, don't
firstly,
tell me.
no, it's all right. I'll tell you everything. So yeah, I could have launched a long time ago for a lot cheaper, and all of that. But I've put so many suppliers in the bin because they can't even tell me where the plant is from. And it's like, one of the problems is, if you've got a supply chain that's 60 people long and you can't track where the plants come from, every time it goes down that supply chain, they take some of the plant out, they put something else in. It's the same thing with like illicit drugs. That's how plant medicines are getting treated. And so, like, firstly, I just want to say some things for people so they can know how to spot good quality products. Yeah, and firstly, they should be able to tell you where the plant comes from. Secondly, if you've got a pill and it's full of anti-caking agents and all of this stuff, it's hard to get the concentration that you need of a plant into a pill. If the majority of that pill is filled with chalk, you can bet that it's not going to be that great quality, the pill, I don't think, anyway. And also, they should be able to tell you, like, precautions, safety measures and stuff like that. If you've got a product as well and it's saying, I can cure your cancer, blah 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 blah, it's a red flag, don't believe them.
Yeah.
So there's certain things you've got to, like, use your brain with it. But with regards to my line, so firstly, we're going to be launching a forage. There's different, so the educational side, when teaming up with my good friend who is doing her PhD at Kew Gardens, she's a herbalist, and we're going to be doing a foraging and pharmacology course so that you can learn to forage and identify medicines out in
Well,
nature,
out
out
there
in the wild.
foraging
Yeah,
or online or
online is
research.
going to it's going to be a filmed course online, one for each season. And you could just, you buy the course and then you've got all these videos. You could take it to the woods with you. She's going to take you through exactly how to identify it, how to do it sustainably, what to avoid, how to make it into tinctures, syrups, oxymels, all
Wow.
these different things. And then I'm going to talk to you about the pharmacology, how it works in the body, how to use it for medicine.
Brilliant.
Thank you. And I'm also going to be doing classes on I'll do hopefully one a month on, say, plants for anxiety, which ones to use, how they work in the body, the science behind it, the clinical evidence, include a meditation on anxiety there. And then also with regards to the products, I'm going to be doing a tea line for different things like relaxation, increasing your brain focus, immunity, gut health, all these different things. I'm going to be launching a range of medicinal mushroom tinctures, which I'm so excited about. They're more closely related to animals than they are plants.
Well,
Fungi.
isn't a mushroom? It's not an animal, and it's not. There's three things on this planet. There's plants, animals, and there's mushrooms.
Mm.
It's not a plant. It's not an animal. I mean, mycology, it's a fascinating thing. Like lion's mane, for example, you know how the evidence is showing it can be really good for firing up these. It's one of the only things that goes for the blood-brain barrier or whatever. And I wish I could have given it to my mum, but I think it's more of a preventative thing, And I really look at it like, if your parents are telling you good stuff, you're going to take it on. And the government is our parents. They're not. But they don't know nothing about this stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Chris Whitting, Patrick Vallance, I don't think they're on the Charger and the Red Lion's Mane every night. I don't think that. Matt Hancock, he's like, I think I really need to get some spirulina for my health. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue, have they?
Yeah, it's true.
So that's so exciting. So when is all this going to happen? This year?
Yeah. So, I'm also launching a hay fever kit to help people prevent getting hay fever, and other medicinal extracts as well. And the hay fever kit and the foraging and pharmacology should be launching beginning of April. With the hay fever kit as well, again, it's a preventative thing so that you prime your immune system to not go crazy when pollen comes in, rather than something you take when it actually hits. It still helps when
prevention beats cure.
Hits. Well, but yeah, it's about priming yourself. And then end of April, I'll be releasing more. I'll be releasing a hair oil as well, because loads of my hair fell out, and now it's like.
Are you trying to make a joke with me?
You've got a very healthy head of hair.
I tell you, I found a photo. Someone sent me a photo when I was 24, and I was looking at it. It's going, your beautiful, thick Chinese hair. But, so. And how long is this course, this online course? It got me interested. I've got a thirst for knowledge at the moment. I didn't have when I was at school, but as I get old, I'm going like reverse. I've got a thirst for knowledge, but my only trouble is I've got so many things I'm studying that my brain I can hear it creaking. How long would a course be? Don't say 5 years.
No. So the courses are, there's going to be like one for spring, one for summer, autumn and winter. And the videos are going to be short. There's going to be 2-3 plants per month. And the videos are going to be about 6 minutes each. And then there's going to be videos on, actually preparing it and the tinctures and stuff like that. So we're doing it short and chunky so that you can pick it up when you fancy it, rather than one really long video going through all the plants. We're going to do like a video on the pharmacology of this plant, a video on how to identify it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just easy, accessible learning. And then the ones about anxiety and stuff, again, that'll be broken up probably about 4, 15, 20-minute videos.
Amazing. Right. Another thing about Laz, before we wrap this up, is you really make me laugh. Right, in a good way. I really like your sense of humour. She was in her stories the other day, and she was testing out a tea. And then she goes, I'm going to test this tea. And she took it. She went, nope, it's not going in there. Forget it. I don't care if it cures cancer. This stuff can write off. Do you know what I mean? It's funny. So it's nice to see someone with a down-to-earth approach and has got a bit of sense of doing it. Because normally it's someone, but I believe anyone, So I believe you're one of the pioneers of the future. I believe the universe spoke to you through a dream and said, young Rebecca, we need you to go and promote the healing powers of nature. Because if you got a dream and you don't forget it, it's called a message. Yeah. And it might be saying, leave that person, or stop taking heroin, or, but when it's something like that, she said, contact this guy, and then you Google it and there's a real guy there. I mean, it's Is there anything else you'd like to say about what you do, about the world of plants, or anything at all?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, we are intrinsically connected to nature, and when we connect to things, we heal and we can enjoy life. So just be open-minded about it. Ask loads of questions. If there's anything anyone wants to learn about, or they want a particular medicine for, my DMs are open. Like, this is a community thing, you know. I want everyone to be able to access these things, and I want to say thank you so much, Tony, for your support and your really kind words. It's mad and so nice to me that people believe in my vision as much as I do. So
No,
thank
you're
you.
gonna do really well because you've got that sociable side to you, and passion comes through, and passion and ethics, morality, with some skills is what's needed. So thanks for your time. Where can people find you on Instagram? I think you're Laz the plant scientist. I'm going to put up on the
That's
screen.
me.
And where can they find out more? Have you got a website?
Yeah, so my website is going to be launching soon. It's laztheplantscientist.co.uk. But if you want to read more about my research and the academic side of things, it's RebeccaLazarou.com. And
amazing.
if you subscribe to my newsletter, which will be coming up, then you'll get a download highlighting the problems in the botanical industry and the questions to ask to make sure you get good medicines. Because my thing is, whether you buy from me or not, I want you to make sure the supplements that you're getting are good.
Yeah.
So,
well, this lady has got the knowledge, and if you need to find out more, I would really go on Instagram, follow her, and do all these things. Thanks a lot for coming on. I really appreciate your time. Keep doing what you're doing. Take care and be well.
thank you, Tony.